Probably seen the picture of Sandy Cortez showing up at a $30,000 a head gala in New York wearing a dress that says "Tax the Rich" across the back.
Okay, first of all, I'm very confused as to where Sandy has come from. Her name is Alexandria, and I'm not aware of Sandy being used as a nickname by anybody else.
She's so dumb and so annoying, but also kind of clever. And she's baiting us here, obviously, and is attempting to rise to the debate. Working class? Right.
Secondly, it's really weird for Tucker Carlson to be out criticizing the intelligence of people. That's pretty cringe in and of itself. I think AOC has demonstrated herself to be a pretty smart cookie, especially when it comes to policy things.
So Cortez claims she wore the outfit to start a conversation about what it means to be a, quote, working class woman of color, and not at all she would stare at a picture of her butt. That's her view.
And this comment right here is just absolutely sexist. I mean, seriously, Tucker Carlson, that's not why AOC wore that dress. That's not why anybody wore any dress. It's not why anybody wore literally any outfit. What AOC definitely didn't do is wear a dress because she wanted cringy dudes on the internet like you, Tucker Carlson, to comment on her physical appearance. The words on her dress are the important information that she tried to convey. And as for the central controversy, there's definitely a lot to be said about AOC's decision to show up at the Met Gala.
Have you seen the back?
No,
we have a message.
Oh my God, tax the rich. What a model.
When Aurora and I were first kind of partnered, we really started having a conversation about what it means to be working class women of color at the Met. And, you know, while the Met is known for its spectacle, we should have a conversation about it.
Of course, she's put in a difficult position as an elected official who's bound to show up at events like that while she's trying to make a statement and be somewhat subversive within the space, while also at the same time trying to strike a balance so that she gets invited the next time. It's obviously the difficult predicament that she's been put in, but there's legitimate criticism to be had, especially considering the fact that there's a Black Lives Matter protest right outside that she could have shown face at. I definitely think that would have made a big difference. A lot of the skepticism and attacks from the left that AOC has been facing are largely rooted in legitimate concern that by getting roped into the cocktail circuit, AOC could start to lose her focus when it comes to actually fighting for progressive change. One of the things that gives me hope on this front is the fact that AOC still is continuing her work and trying to foster mutual aid networks within her community, especially in response to the flooding that happened in New York, where she was using some of her campaign infrastructure to organize to support that effort. But at the same time, it's an important concern that we understand that as people get into positions of power, they're more likely to be influenced by those offices and by the company they keep. For the people to AOC's left, even the statement of tax the rich is really a watering down of what people fundamentally want, which is a serious redistribution of wealth in this country. That is to say that the people living in apartment buildings should be the cooperative owners of the building, and not some landlord that's trying to profit off of it. That the apparatus of giant corporations should be given over to the workers, so that they actually have a democratic say over how the company is run. These types of things are sort of overlooked when you have people campaigning on something like tax the rich, which really doesn't do anything to fundamentally challenge the balance of power within our society. It just means that rich people would have a higher demand for cash, might reduce inflation a little bit, and it might help the government invest in projects that might help some people. This is definitely an important good thing that is necessary, but it can't stand alone. So it's important when you see people criticizing AOC on this front that you don't dismiss it outright. But at the same time, you understand who is doing the criticism. If it's people like Tucker Carlson, then it's absolutely hilarious when they try to criticize AOC for something like this, because it's not like Tucker Carlson is out there trying to make a better place in the world. He's just trying to get rich. The biggest irony in what Tucker Carlson says has to be this line.
Sandy Cortez is a paid defender of entrenched power. We could go on and on and on. On the other hand, if we did go on, we'd merely be feeding her narcissism, so tonight we're going to pass. That's it. No more Sandy Cortez talk.
I mean, seriously, talk about somebody that is getting paid by the rich to pretend to be subversive. That is literally Tucker Carlson's whole game. The entire game he runs on his show is pretending to be this populist, when in reality, he's funded by incredibly wealthy individuals, and he himself is quite wealthy. Tucker Carlson isn't concerned about the fake wokeness of AOC. Tucker Carlson is just taking opportunist attack to somebody that he thinks isn't being quite genuine to their purported leftist intention. This is Ben Carollo with Rebel Headquarters. You can catch my show Galaxy Brain on the Young Turks Twitch channel every Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. You can also follow me on Twitter if you want to stay up to date with my content.